my God, it's Friday! Welcome to the show. I am Mariah. For Lucky Brands, always have the latest with me. Hi there, Maria.
I'm fine, but first of all, Mariah, you look so beautiful this morning. I love the red turban.
Thank you.
Really nice.
I love turbans. I really do. Just I have restrictions on them, but I'll try to wear them.
I guess don't restrict yourself. You have this thing like this in turban and then
Really
restrict
nice.
yourself.
How you doing, Maria?
I'm fine. Yesterday, I spent some time at the mall, the Adini Ogunsoya Mall, and many of the shop owners were just trying to get their business back up and just sort themselves again. They were putting up the iron gate, you know, because of what happened when hoodlums attacked them. And I had the opportunity to speak with a particular shop owner. She had CCTV cameras on, and she showed me videos clearly of the people that came into her shop, how they broke in, how they were even just looking through her things and choosing. And when you see the caliber of people that were doing this were not, because you know we have that narrative where this is just people who are poor, but these were nicely with their long braids, guys in their tight t-shirts and their tattoos, you know, really looking cool, going through the stuff. She said they opened her cash box, took all her money. Their faces are so clear on the video. And so, you know, for her, she says we need to stop that conversation of saying that this is the way protesting is different from stealing. These were just thieves. They came and took advantage of whatever happened. And although she did mention that the Lagos State is in talks with them to see how they can help, but I mean, she was like, she needs a form of justice. That if her only justice is to put up these pictures and videos for people to see them and point at them, then, you know, for her, let her just have something.
Interesting. Hi, Nima.
I'm fine. Very busy this period doing Christmas rice preparation.
Yeah.
Thank you for all of those opportunities. Yes. I want to shout out to Mrs. Adedoyin Omiyola from her daughter Fumilola Shoeton. This was supposed to be a birthday shout out for I think Tuesday, but Wednesday. I wasn't on set on Wednesday. Happy birthday. Then Tokwe wants a shout out for
Omolara Ajetumobi.
Yes.
She turns 40
today from Tokwe. Also, yes.
Yes.
I had a birthday shout out I didn't get to from from Sunday Olowo Yo Biojo to his son Michael Oluwamayo Mikun Omogbolaon Olowo Yo Biojo. Although people with their names. Happy birthday.
Happy
I know
birthday.
These are all related birthdays. But
okay, happy birthday.
Yes. And I have from my Instagram, there's a gentleman, I didn't wear glasses today, so I'm trying hard to.
Do you need
Olorun Yomi Bolaji BJ. Today's his birthday, 10th.
Happy birthday.
I think it was even Wednesday. It was
10th is yesterday.
10th is yesterday.
Okay.
I forgot.
So that's Thursday.
Pick it up.
Okay.
And then there was somebody else, Imafidon Courage. I think his birthday was also on Wednesday or Thursday, the 10th also. Happy birthday to Imafidon. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, everybody. I mean, there's just a happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you all. Okay, so much is happening. We have 1 minute. Anything else happen this weekend?
I'm looking forward to the premiere of our Christmas music video.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, we have so many pictures and videos personally that I'm itching to post, so I can't wait for that.
I'm going to be interviewing Brown on my IG on Sunday. We'll talk about it, and then we'll be premiering on Wednesday.
Okay.
On Your View, and we'll see how it goes. We're excited about it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the break. When we come back, we go through the front pages of the papers. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Okay, welcome back. We're going to start with The Nation. Reps, we are still expecting Buhari to appear before us. COVID-19. PTF accuses religious bodies of sabotage. World Bank withholds $1.5 billion loan to Nigeria. Robbers steal House of Assembly mace. And Army Chief Irefin dies of COVID-19. 50,000 in Lagos to benefit from 350 million naira Lagos Healthcare Fund. And FG cuts data prices by 50%. Okay.
So the major headline is the Speaker of the House of Representatives has said that the President communicated his interest in appearing before the House and honoring that summons that they had issued, and he had not communicated otherwise to them, despite what the AGF is saying out there. So they're still expecting him to come, you know, and
the Deputy Senate President,
the entire Senate denounced the invitation, saying that they are not into part of it. And Omar Agege, being a lawyer, also said it was improper aligning with the AGF. And I don't think they're playing politics. I think that every appointee, every public office holder under our constitution can be invited and summoned by the National Assembly. Those are the people of Nigeria under our representative democracy.
I was going to say the COVID story, because the PTF is saying that there's a very strong possibility that there's a new
the second wave.
Another wave of COVID, and he's quite disappointed with the religious bodies, saying that they've sabotaged the entire guidelines that was given to them. Some of them have not adhered to those guidelines, causing further spread of the COVID-19. And he's hoping that people can take proper extra care, especially during this season.
Can we take, yes, since we were talking COVID, I was going to take in another paper, but I'll just take it now, which is the Chief of Army Staff Conference, which was supposed to have been held in Abuja, has actually also been suspended as a result of the death of Major General Johnson Olubumi Irefin. He had buried his mom a while back. He died of COVID and had buried his mother a while back. And so because of that, they've asked everybody to stay home and isolate themselves, and that all the other activities to have been suspended going forward. And they're just also acknowledging that there's obviously a second wave of COVID-19.
Wouldn't you have expected that the caliber of the Chief of Army Staff would know better to have a live conference? Instead, it should have been online like every other person, but you know, it's different laws for people.
Let me also add that Lieutenant General Tiwa Buretai's son's wedding is coming up, and he has also now sent a message to all the dignitaries and well-wishers who were supposed to come to say they cannot have everybody there, of course, in
you shouldn't have everybody there.
The guidelines.
Okay. Let's move on to Vanguard. Anguish as gunmen kill 16 on Abuja-Kaduna Road. We have reduced cost of data by 50%, says federal government, but it shuts down motion on Buhari's failure to appear. Nobody's in charge of Nigeria, says Shoyinka. Riot as police kill tricycle rider over 100 naira bribe in Rivers. Insurgency war, Southern Middle Belt leaders fought the demotion of General Adeniyi, and CBN rolls out new license regime for payment system. I was quite heartbroken about the riot that happened in Rivers State yesterday. It was a young man, it was popularly called Schoolboy, and he was a tricycle rider, and the police was demanding 100 naira from him, and allegedly the police shot him, and that caused a riot where people got angry. And you think that because we just concluded the hashtag NSAS, the police would begin to understand that they need to be refrained from shooting people and think of how they can disarm people. But this young man was not armed at all. He was just a civilian doing his job, and because he refused to give 100 naira drive,
so because he was killed, there was protest, and some other people were killed. So according people now went into town protesting his death, trying to get the body to the police headquarters. They tried to stop that, and they killed 2 people. They had 2 dead bodies in their car heading towards the hospital at the end of the day, and a lot of people wounded. In fact, in the picture on the front page of the Vanguard is someone who survived that killing. So you would expect that our police would know better on how to respond to protest, you know. The video about that young man and his killing is online. It's very painful. You should see the way he lost blood so quickly and lay in a pool of his own blood with his sisters or wife dragging the body and mourning. Very painful.
It was so painful. But you see, they were crying and wailing over him. Now, somebody's been shot. The first thing you do is tie up that place and carry him to the hospital. Nigerians understand.
This man was dead, Morayo.
No. Listen. I agree with you. He was shot, absolutely. And there's nothing denying that. But there's some little things that Nigerians will begin to sensitize Nigerians. When an accident happens, once the blood starts coming out, tie up that place, that opening, with everything you can find, and then take that person, even if it's a gunshot. They could have survived gunshot wounds. So, yes, this one obviously was killed maybe at close range. Maybe there was nothing that could have happened, but they were just crying over his dead body with blood flowing out, and it was just worse. You're going to take almost straight in.
Yes, the major headline. Yes. So about 16 people were killed on the Kaduna-Abuja Expressway. They were coming from Abuja. There are 16 indigenous of Kano State. They were going back to Kano where they were killed. The governor of Kano State, in condoling with the families of the deceased, also laid curses on the people that killed these.
Curses?
Yes.
Wow.
He condoled with them and laid curses on them that may God punish them.
Okay, so curses is our new solution. I don't understand Nigerians.
So also kidnapping in Niger State, just
Abuja to Kaduna Road.
Yes, I mean every day we hear these stories. I keep saying just change the date on our newspaper and we just have the same story over and over again. I'm just tired.
Okay.
And government response is just weak.
Helpless.
Daily Sun. And we're moving on like nothing happens because they're on Daily Sun and they're cutting cake, People just move. Life is just happening. Daily Sun, over 300,000 Nigerians are refugees in Chad, Cameroon, says UNHCR. Police smash kidnap syndicate. NAB 5 in Aba. Religious freedom. U.S. defense blacklisting Nigeria. Fireworks over FG's plan to take over unclaimed dividends. Police lawmakers differ as burglars steal Ogun Assembly maze. And Mbosu speaks on June 12 as will be others mourn Nwankwo. Okay, which story are we taking?
Okay, so relying on the major headline, relying on the data from the UNHCR, Nigeria's make up over 300,000 refugees in countries like Chad, Niger, and Cameroon. And this was released by our own, let me count the ministers, Minister for Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management, Minister for Women Affairs, the Minister for Budget and National Planning, the Controller General of the Immigrations, the National Agency for Prohibition, NAPTIP, and all of them were at this stakeholder meeting on the implementation of the Global Compact on Refugees, and they relied on this data. Now, out of the 300,000, over 200,000 of them are from Borno, according to the governor of Borno State. So, if we are making decisions like this and we are admitting this data, I think we should summon the president already.
Yeah, so I have the other story where the federal government is not doing enough to fight against insurgency. So the United States is expressing concern for our federal government's almost lack of adequate response to the insurgencies happening in our country. And the U.S. Ambassador at Large for International Religious Freedom, Samuel D. Brownback, in a teleconference was speaking about it, that the U.S. is willing to help Nigeria in fighting this and bringing this to an end, but it just does not seem that from our side we're doing little or nothing in response. And he says also what they notice is that these insurgencies have like a religious coloring. Right. Although on the Minister for Information is saying that we do not have such in Nigeria, that the victims of these violence have been on both Christians, Muslims, and others, and other religions as well. But the United States is concerned that there have been some acts that have this religious coloring that have not been properly prosecuted. No criminal prosecution have been brought against those who have been involved in this violence.
So I find it gladly mischievous to base this on religion. The killings, like the Minister for Information, for the first time, I must admit, have been across religions. The 43 farmers, if you check well, were not, just Christians. And I found Khan being mischievous also, trying to make this into the ability to buy land and all of that, the excuse they made in the papers on Monday, on Wednesday, about being about that. Because if you go in the East, in Port Harcourt, we have a lot of examples. Muslims can't buy land, you can't even freely worship. So these are across board. If we want to talk about religion, let's leave it to when we are serious as a country to address it. But the killings are things too serious to be religionized or politicized on religion or ethnic basis.
Nigerian Tribune, COVID-19 hits army, GOC dies. World Bank says 20 million more Nigerians may fall into poverty. Buhari's National Assembly no-show sign, no one is in charge, says Secondus. Don't tamper with workers' pension, NLC warns government. How to curb corruption at seaports. 16 killed on Abuja-Kaduna highway. Kanduje curses gunmen. Riot in Port Harcourt as policeman kills motorcyclist for 100 naira bribe. Okay.
NLC.
Sorry?
NLC?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes, the NLC's President, Comrade Ayuba Waba, during a National Executive Council meeting of the Medical and Health Workers Union in Abuja, was just speaking about, in response to, I think the governors have come together to, they're seeking to loan from the Nigeria Workers Pension Fund, NLC, saying, do not touch that money. Whatever you do, if you touch that money, I'm going to make sure all workers get on the street and protest this. Don't touch our money. Please, I'm adding my voice to this. My mother's money is inside. She has just retired. Do not touch their pension. They have saved over, over so many years. They have earned very little. We're still struggling with minimum wage in some states. No, don't touch it. No, that's what you people say. Don't touch this pension. I'm begging you, please.
I don't think like that. We have to run. That's all we can take on front of review. If you notice, we didn't take the guy that was collapsing in courts. We're not interested because it's played out. We're going to go on a break. We'll come back. We'll be right back.
They need a new.
Thanks for staying with us. So, a Nigerian singer, it's Friday. We like to talk about celebrities. So a Nigerian artist took to social media and accused his wife and her family for plotting to kill him and take over his property. However, some Nigerians felt that the singer's marital issues shouldn't be aired on social media, but rather settled in the private quarters. The question is, do you think it's advisable to bring some issues to social media? And I'm going to use the recent case of the domestic violence, the woman who said her husband beat her up, and obviously her bringing it out ended up being a pathway to resolving her issue with her spouse. So if she had kept it to herself, and maybe to family, maybe she has even done that over the 6 years, and nothing has happened, but by coming out to the open about it, so there was some kind of a good in it. So we're now bringing it, let's have a conversation on social media. Do we think that it is all bad to bring matters to social media, or there could be some good in it? And if there is, can we embrace it? Or basically say that we'll go to the conventional way of solving problems? I mean, let me start with you, Mariam. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so for me personally, I think a lot of people know that I always say, social media is very different from your personal life, and I always believe that in handling personal issues, take it off of social media, no matter how small it is. But I have heard in recent times conversations from people who have explained this as a form of therapy. So it's my way of just speaking my mind and just taking it off. So it would have been a therapist you would be sitting before, but for some reason you do not have access to that, or I don't know, you don't have access to family members, trusted family members that you can speak to, or to friends, or for you at the time it's just about just clearing your mind and speaking out your mind. But there's also the part where I feel that you need to be careful. When you do that, you also need to understand that there will be consequences for putting your private business on social media. Social media it's just the public. So you will not expect to have all-round empathy or understanding. Some people will troll you, and many people have regretted it, because usually you're in the throes of grief or anger or hatred or whatever it is you're feeling, and then you go on social media and you just speak. And when you're done and then you get all the backlash, many people tend to regret what they have done. So for me, I think take that time. If you need to make a private video, make a video and speak your mind into your phone and the video and save it for yourself. This is my own personal advice. So that when that anger and this dissipates, at least you still have that, but privately, because how people will respond, you will not like it. I remember when we were much younger, there used to be this what do you call it, advert. It was about like a bank. So this man needed financial advice, but they would show him, he would go to the market, speak to market women who would give him advice that didn't make sense. He would go to the mechanics until he got a person from this particular bank. So he met a financial advisor and the person gave him advice. So that's how I see social media. If you have a problem and you just go to just anyone, you get just any kind of comment or advice.
Let me come here, Nima's initial thoughts, then we'll come to how we can solve this. So go ahead.
Okay, so two things. When we finish the propriety or impropriety of putting your business, family, personal business on social media, we'll talk about the details of what was put on social media. So whether or not I'd like to call out this particular artist. Now, I don't believe that you should put all your business on social media. The truth is, the social media for me is a double-edged sword. So when you're cutting that person, be careful that you're not cutting yourself. That's how it is. Whatever you put out there will come back for you, to come back to you as well. I particularly fear this therapy excuse, because I've heard it before. People say it's therapy, but these same people will tell you no third parties in your marriage. You know, they'll give you this same excuse, but you give the entire world access to your family business, but you can't give a third party. So see, that dangerous third party, that gossip in your neighborhood, every other person that you have discountenance that you've said they should not be talked to,
Nima,
might be your help.
Can I ask you a question?
Hold on, let me finish, Moraya, because I have been in a situation where I needed to talk. So I didn't care who I was talking to. If it's therapy for you, talk to anybody near you. Don't put all of your business online. If talk is what you need, talk to anybody. Unfortunately, I later found someone I could always talk to every time. Thank you, Ura. But you need to talk to someone. Talk to someone around you. But social media is over 1 million people and several others who would not forget what you said.
Yeah, but Nima, this same, you see, sometimes people can say that this thing against social media might be hypocritical, because when things happen in Nigeria, I mean, in our culture, hey, this, come and see, they have they have done this. That is social media in the smallest niche. We are bringing all the neighbors, come and hear, they have slapped my face. Hey, my children, they've done this. Everybody come, they gather around. Ordinary small accidents, all the car riders, they gather around. Wait, let me finish. Something happened. Everybody gather. Hey, what happened? What happened? That is social media in its unit form. So it is almost the same way, because we were saying that, oh, we don't want to put matters on social media. When things happen, we are the first to attract.
Not everybody.
No, everybody. I'm just telling you that the same people who are accusing, but we should remember that we are doing social media on different levels.
No, even what you just explained now. So, egbami, and you scream out.
Yes.
It's your verbal publication
Expression
of what you're going through, and even in courts they can't rely on oral accounts fully. But you see this world of social media now, as you are talking,
video, text,
these videos, they have a way of backing up and rebacking up. I now know. I'm just learning how people download lives, they download status. You know, so everything you put, I usually don't post my kids on to my social media pages, but they are on my status whenever they do one thing or the other. And people can download. Someone just sent me a video I posted on my WhatsApp status last year of my child. And said, I have downloaded status download. I was like, So someone else can actually put them online. So these things that we talk about, they are too permanent, a source of information for us to joke around with.
But it's the same thing.
No, they're not the same.
Yeah, so going back to that, actually for me and in my family, it's something that's been frowned upon. That local community shouting that you're talking about.
Hollywood.
People come and help me. Yes, like, even at that level, people have come and say, Hajia, stay aside, speak to someone. You don't have to involve the whole world. So even at that community level, it has been frowned upon. Then imagine at worldview level.
It's not frowned upon, because that Yasikira that all of you called, when you and your husband are back, she'll be the one to tell the people, it was not last year that they were fighting, slapping themselves. You know, the same way you kept record on social. I'll go on the break now. The same way social media has kept record of you, Yasikira has kept record of the day your husband slapped your face and you brought the whole community. They are keeping records. You don't know, but we'll go on the break. Stay with us. Don't go anywhere.
No, this one is just comedy.
Thanks for staying with us. So before the break, we're talking about social media. That is it right for you to put your business on social media? And I was trying to let the ladies know that we already kind of do social media in smaller ways, where we get community involvement in issues that matter to us. And even though after we settle within our family, the entire neighborhood already knows your matter, and they even still use it against you at some point. So whether we like it or not, social media is the new reality, and why we're having trouble accepting this new world. And,
yes, you know, and I was saying to you that even at the community level that you have explained, I've always frowned at it. And for me, it's not about people remembering what you have gone through. For me, it's more about laying down my issues in front of those who can help, who have the resources to help, who are willing to help, instead of just putting it out there just for any Dick and Harry to have a conversation about.
What's wrong with that?
Because it's none of your business. You're not going to help me in any way. It does not bother you whether I wake up or I sleep.
But I just want you to know that this man is doing that, this one is doing this to me, or this is going to me.
Yeah, you know, usually that is done when you are feeling the anger or feeling whatever it is that you're feeling. But if you truly want to solve the problem that you're going through, you want to talk to a group of people that you know can affect, you know, the outcome of whatever it is that you're going through.
Okay, Nima, let me come to you.
Question. This is a marriage having issues. So sometimes I, for one, I don't support not talking about domestic violence. So if you are being slapped, beaten, talk to the crazy neighbor that you have. I've seen it save lives. And then sometimes shaming the men around the people that they consider important is a way that works. So in the army those days, if you have a husband who wasn't meeting his commitment family-wise, wasn't providing for his children, you go to they call it I think a rector within the police, or the welfare of the police, you go to that head and you announce it that my children's school fees are outstanding, these are the bills, and my husband is in your service but he's not been paying, and they will take the money, the school fees from source and fund the wife. So those happen in those days.
Can I just add to that?
When it's being beaten, if you're working in any of these big oil companies, I don't want to mention their brands, you go to the company with a letter and you might lose his job.
That's what I mean. So Nima has given a perfect example for what I'm saying. Imagine if that woman, that army officer woman, instead went to the marketplace and was screaming about her husband not paying. But she went to the people that would make a difference.
But just like you said in the beginning, there's something therapeutic about just expressing your anger, because a lot of women die in silence. Some people are overpowered. Even some men die in silence because they're overpowered by the emotional torture they go through. So they can't speak. Because nobody believes them. They tell their mother, they tell their loved ones. Nobody says, manage it. We are all in this together. And you now go out to social media, and then you have seen people who are empathizing with you, who are saying, okay, they've been through this and you can survive. So sometimes that therapeutic part of it is so, let us discountenance it. It's quite important. So it's one thing, yes, I want to express, I want to bring it out. And there's another thing, I want to resolve it. So expressing it out, I've told the whole world.
It's not everything that
and then I want to resolve it.
Dirty linen will dry in public. In the
that is
no, that one is a statement of fact. Because if you're suffering as a result of choice, you personally made decisions that have gone wrong. Like in this case, you made decisions to marry a certain person. And I'm sure because of your status, you had several persons you could have married from. But you married a certain class of person. And the decision don't come, they burn you. You know, these are the times when you find therapy for yourself first. Close that problem. Just move forward as if nothing happened. So that the less publicized, the better for you, for the person of Duncan Mighty's status.
The pension is there.
Sorry, because you know me, I don't know how to do this thing. Of his status, because as a celebrity, he must have broken a lot of hearts, but he chose his wife. Now, I'm leaving the DNA out of it, because that also is a personal decision. But the decision of she's poisoning my food, except you can
unequivocally,
you can prove it beyond reasonable doubt. Please don't bring it as false accusation and in the tug of war. I've seen husbands wake up in the morning and say, I don't even trust you, and blame all their problems. People even have men of God and women of God behind the allegations against their spouses.
You're now talking like a lawyer who has been defending domestic violence women.
No.
There are some times where men have died because they've died in this silence. Men have died because they kept quiet. They don't want to let the world know where they're poisoning my food. There are two sides to every story.
If you feel they poison your food, you can prove it with video as your wife is poisoning. People see Mariah.
Video for what? For personal consumption.
From time immemorial. I have an auntie. She should be about 78
Let me
now.
take your auntie's example for it in a moment. Let me take Sunday. Sunday has been holding. Sunday, are you there? Oh, I think I lost that call. I'm so sorry.
So this is my auntie. As a child, it was my father's auntie. As a child, I saw her come to our house every day. crying that her husband alleged she poisoned his food. This was an excuse to bring in the new wife. It is the oldest excuse in the book. She cannot cook, she cannot this, she's even a witch. Now she's thinking, she's smelling to me. Those are allegations as old as time. So if you cannot substantiate it, please don't even try it. But the one of the DNA, let us see if you're truly, if a child is not yours, people are in serious custody issues in courts, even claiming children that they've raised all their lives that are not theirs by DNA. For you to be joking about such a thing.
Okay, let me take Kelvin's call from Florida. Good morning, Kelvin.
Sure, good morning.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
How you doing, ma'am?
We're very well.
Good morning.
Yes, ma'am. I was just calling about what you guys are discussing about social media.
Yes.
And I don't really believe in it that much because I have an uncle right now with his wife, and his wife posts everything on social media about her husband and stuff like that.
Okay.
Unfortunately, everything got messed up on her because people start telling her that, okay, yes, you're complaining about.
We really wanted to hear that. Kelvin, please try to call back. Yes.
Yeah, so Mariah, you know, you were saying we need therapy, we need to speak out, and we're not taking that away. I do believe that everybody needs an avenue where they can just speak their mind in a place of no judgment. You speak your mind, you're upset, you're angry, whatever it is you feel, you say it, and then eventually you can now rationally look towards resolving the issue. But to put it in front of everybody, many who do not care, some people are fans, some people are trolls, some people are lovers, some people are haters, and you don't want that compounding your problem. So that is on one side. Concerning this particular issue of people being called, or when they have issues in their homes, and they call out their wives, their spouses' parents for being, or families for being witches or wizards, this is something we hear often. I remember there's a big female star here when she had an issue with her husband, and he claimed that he wanted to jump off the bridge. He accused her mother of witchcraft. It's just something I find that Nigerians seem to do. You have an issue with you now put the name of witchcraft on people's families. I mean, people need to be very careful. It happens a lot. Yeah, we need to be careful about that, because if you cannot prove it and the person decides, I think people should sue people for misnaming them like that. Yes. Solve the issues. If you have an issue with the paternity of your child, thank God for science. You can prove that. And then we handle that. But don't call people witches and wizards.
And thank you very much, Mara, for taking us. Because, you see, it's part of us not facing issues. You know, you want to call it different names. Okay, you feel somebody's cheating on you. Face it. Okay, you're cheating on me. This is the evidence I have. We're done with it. And take a decision. I'm done with this marriage and I'm moving on as an adult. But because you want to now start shaming and naming and start bringing all the family, oh, that's how your sister did this, that's how this person, you now make it a whole mountain of issues that the whole community is getting involved in. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we'll now dig further, as Nima wants us to dig further into this matter. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Stay with us. So, on this matter of social media, because there are instances. You want to take tweets?
Let me take them. No, the Duncan Mighty's issue. So, Duncan Mighty posted on Friday accusing his wife Vivian of plotting to kill him over and take over his property. We heard that one before. He also alleged that she was poisoning his wife and burying charms in the house to control him. He revealed that she confessed this to him and that he also has evidence of that. And also, a few days after, posted that their 4-year-old daughter was not his, as that he found out that through a DNA test. Now, for me, that's the problem. Let's just assume that everything you said is true. And that she confessed to you.
To be a witch.
To be a witch, she'll be poisoning your food, and that her goal was to take over your property, maybe your estates, maybe you are and that you have evidence already. Uncle, back it up, go to court, and take a decision whether you want to remain married to her, move on. And nobody would have heard. They would just hear that Duncan Mighty is a matured man and he divorced his wife overnight. Nobody needs to know the salt, sugar, and seasoning that made the soup. But because you people will not finish growing up.
But if a man
have to bring it out.
If a man breaks a woman's heart, we are the ones that will gather and say, how can he do that? No, I'm just saying that let's flip it. If it's this one that complained that he did this to me, she listed all the things he did, we will help her. We'll share in the conversation. We'll say, Auntie, go to court and move on. We'll say, how can a man do that?
This conversation.
Let's be real here.
Mora, this response I'm giving, if you check all the records of your video, it's the same response. Whether you're a man
I'm not
or
talking about you. I'm talking about how we respond generally. Let's not personalize this.
People would only feel the need to respond if because of this, he decided to beat her to death or something. People would not respond. People would still go at her if she puts out something there and there was a story left, an element of truth and a lot of elements of lie. People would test it whether it's male or female.
Abdulaziz, thanks for calling. You're live, please. I think our phone lines today. Please try to call back.
So, Mariah, I don't actually agree with you that when a woman comes out to speak about her problem, she gets more love. She doesn't. A woman is harshly judged. That is the truth about where we come from. A woman has to be very careful how the word, is he not your husband? Must you tell the world? The reason why we have been having campaigns and conversations about women where we're saying silence is death is because women have been made to shut up. So women do not have that luxury of coming out and just speaking their minds. Actually, we're trying to encourage them too. But speak to the people who can help, who will help. That's what we're saying. See, what he has a problem with, I don't know, if you have so much evidence, I think it's just take it to court and leave. I have a friend who is divorced now, happily, and she said at a point of her marriage, her husband would not eat her food. And she had heard from someone that because of the place that she comes from, people from that place are seen to be a certain way. So it was not. So for me, that's even. I mean, take responsibility.
Abuse of the woman.
Yeah, that was emotional abuse. But that was what made her. You know, this is not working anymore. Yes. But for me, for the man, you understood that someone in your mind is doing something to you, and you took responsibility for that. Do you understand? But you'll be sitting in the house eating the food that you said that they are poisoning.
Yes,
feeding yourself with your family and
you don't eat her food, but you sleep with her. I don't understand.
I think what we want to take from this conversation is that there are three parts, the few layers here. There's a layer that, okay, you're bringing your marital issues on social media, and we're saying that the right thing to do is, if you're going to do that at all, as therapeutic as you want, but please make sure that you have that, be ready for the backlash, and also know that you have that small, close circle of people that you talk to. Then there's the other layer of the fact that the accusations or the issues that are actually true and your life is actually in danger, then take the decisive action. Don't just leave it and let it trend and we're talking about it and we're just about it and everybody's gossiping about it and becomes the national conversation when you can actually be more decisive. And let's stop all this community engagement because until everybody joins mouth and put their 2 cents, people don't feel as if the matter has been resolved.
We don't have a solution. We just gist about it.
Just gist about
we don't have a solution. Don't come and say, hey, and that's it.
That did not want your good in the first place are sitting down now and just jollofing over your matter.
It is still his clear decision on moving forward or making his life better that happens. Of course, obviously, this person has bad taste from beginning. If you don't trust your wife, you have
we're going to go on a break. I think we can end with this. Do you have a tweet, please? Let's take a bit tweet. I have a caller. Good morning. Are you there?
Yeah. Good morning, Mariah.
You're live. Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. It's been a long time. I want to contribute to your topic this morning.
Yes. Please go ahead.
Yes, for me as a person, I don't think people should bring out their marital problems to the public because this is a matter between two different adults. And the moment you have come together to say, I will marry you, I will spend the rest of my life with you, I think you can't just come out again to ridicule yourself in public, wash your dirty linens outside. Whatever both of you cannot sort out, don't think that the third party will do it for you.
Thank you.
Rather, what the third party will do is to fuel the situation, bring it to the public, analyze it, and put you to ridicule. So the best thing for couples, or the couples is to do is to sort it out themselves.
Should they?
I don't even encourage you taking it to your anybody to take it to
Should they?
His or
Let me ask you a question.
Or siblings.
Can I ask you a question, sir?
Yes, go ahead.
Remember the young lady recently that talked about her domestic violence case? that the governor of Benue State got involved. Now, this is a woman that has complained that over 6 years she's been beaten up for various attempts by her husband, strangling her and all that. Now, the point is that she came to social media, and social media obviously helped her. Now she's reconciled with her husband with the help of the governor. If she hadn't come out, she would have been dying in silence. Don't you think social media played some kind of role to help her out? Chidi, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. I am.
So do you think it helped her?
Maybe didn't hear you.
Okay. Do you think social media? Oh, we lost that. Yes, Mary, we're going to help Chidi.
Yeah, I don't know about helping Chidi.
Okay.
I want to answer this your question.
Help him answer the question.
You see this matter of that woman coming out on social media. The problem was never about, as we said, it's not about speaking out, but speaking out to the people who can help. And the involvement of the governor of Benue State was looked at, almost negatively. Yes, because people are saying a crime was committed. A crime is being perpetrated, almost, like clockwork. That has to be. She needed to go to the right people. In her own case, she went on social media. She got backlash. We got an audio of people trying to discredit her, and that's what we're saying. When you take it to people that do not have any way of handling the thing for you, or helping you, or helping the man, take it to the people who have been either family, friends. If that has not worked, then go to the government-instituted organization that can help you solve those issues.
Yes.
The governor now, the second one, what the governor did with her carrying that mic and speaking to the people is what social media, what someone going on social media would do. But that was so wrong. You don't put that woman on TV with a mic and talking about
after all is said and done, she don't enter backlash.
It's a solution. Even
after all the backlash, after all the cameras and videos to discredit her, after all the governor's involvement, at least at the end of the day, she's back with her husband.
She was not out in the first place. She was in her house when she was making those videos.
Even being back with the man itself is not a solution. We don't. It's not
guaranteed.
It's therapy that is the solution. I have not even started.
I wish it was that man that held that mic saying, these are the things I've decided to do going forward to show that I would not be a violent person. But it's the woman that has to carry that and see.
Oluwande Drew says it does both. When you lay an issue on the purview of social engagement, you become prone to all sorts of reactions, both negative and positive. Yours is to pick the positives and move from the negatives. Rich Apostle says, bringing your personal business to social media may help others. And that one correct. If you help people, backlash gotten should be taken serious. Shouldn't be taken serious.
There's one other thing I wanted to add for this speaking out thing. And that is another part where sometimes people take your story and run with it. So there's something I've noticed Mariah doing lately, which is when people misunderstand her or like particularly being mischievous, she speaks up and she's saying that this is Sorosoke season. So I understand that where people will make assumptions about you and then you put up, you clarify your position. Because especially with celebrities, people would come up with a fake story and then they send it out there, and that is all what other people who are not close to you know about you. So in those cases, I can understand when you speak up to clarify your position and make sure that a false narrative about you is not the one that's being spread. So that's,
I think we can wrap up on that. Let's go on a break. When we come back, we're going to try to tweak it a bit and get a different angle. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're going on to another short topic. So we got a message, or a tweet. We saw a tweet. We didn't get it. We saw a tweet from Nurse Genevieve. And she said this, and we thought it was interesting. Dear men, please explain to me why ladies who are responsible, hardworking, earns their pay, not asking you for 2K urgently, are still single. I don't get a lot of responsible, beautiful nurses and doctors in my hospital still single. Why are they? So these are people who are doing well. I mean, for me, it's not even a 10 minutes conversation. It's a full day show, and I think we're going to extend this conversation a bit, maybe sometime next week. Because a parent works hard, spends so much money to educate their child, to go to the best schools, either in Nigeria or outside the country. You come back, you get a good job, and you're finally living the dream of being independent. And all that independence, for whatever reason, you're not able to settle to the next phase. And and this nurse is bringing this to the fore, saying, why is it that these men are not seeing these women who are educated, smart, they're independent, yet they can't settle down? What do you think is the issue?
I'd like Obiadulo on this topic. I'm telling you.
As I say, we can't finish it. I mean, the show is almost over, but we'll make it another day. So, but let us start in the beginning.
But for me, it's about the kind of love that we claim to have here. So it's both ways. Love of provision, love of dependence. So a man wants to date a girl he can actually pay, and he doesn't want a woman who is empowered enough to speak her mind. Until recently, it wasn't the norm to marry women who were doing well. You had to marry a woman who can subject, who can submit. So you find someone that is within class. Even in age, in wealth and all of that, those were issues until men started getting wise and Yahoo became a thing.
Men today are looking for women that are richer than them.
It started 10 years ago. In the past, you had to marry below you. So you went to school with a certain class of woman, and she's a bit educated, she's a bit enlightened about what she wants. Not too much, not be say she has big dreams. She just had a bit. Your family will tell you, and this Asha you won't marry, that she's too, she's too exposed. So whether we like it or not, it sort of still exists today, where you're dating and you're looking at the woman. Either you're dating her because she has that job to take from her and then go and end up with someone who will still submit, which is what most men do. They still do it today.
Okay, so for me, I feel because she's specific about nurses and doctors, I'm thinking may also have to do with their
shift
work time. They spend a lot of time at work. I mean, it's especially for doctors, you're on call for 24 hours, and if you're a Nigerian doctor, God help you. So for me, I feel that when Nigerian men seem to be very specific about how they want their marriages to be. I remember having a conversation with one of my brothers-in-law, and he was saying his dream, what he would like if he had the money, was that for his wife to be at home, do a small business she can do from home. He doesn't want his wife out there working. When he wants to be able to call her and she's just there, available for him. And imagine if you're a nurse, if you're a doctor, you would not have that sort of time. The wife will not have that sort of time. So it may be that. It's not only doctors and nurses, bankers as well. I find that female bankers also have this issue, and it's really also about that time, especially in Lagos, because I've worked in the bank. I know how it is, and I think one of the reasons I left is that no time for people to toast you and take you out, So then,
so some stressful jobs like that.
So those sort of jobs can limit how available you are for even dating and things like that. Then also we need to talk about attitude. So because she mentions they can take care of themselves, they have the money, and that's fine. But marriages are based on much more than what you can do for yourself. What else are you willing to do with the other person? What are you willing to compromise?
But do you think some of these educated, smart, independent women have their high standards, they're way too high, we're higher than, because you're doing well for yourself. You don't want to go below where you are. So, and a lot of our men today, I mean, I don't like to say the fact that many of them are late bloomers. Many of them are still trying to gather themselves. So you see a man, you feel this one is not yet, doesn't have anything yet. Why would I even start talking to this one? So could that be also a factor in this?
Like African Americans, they have this conversation. I watch like some of their conversations all the time, where it seems that the women who are doing well tend to sort of marry down, and that's because they understand the socioeconomic issues that surround being black in America. So you're a black man, and somehow there's a level you can get to compared to your white male counterpart. So you find a hardworking African American woman who is making a lot of money, but she does not have a lot of options in her own circle. So she has to sort of date lower socioeconomically. And so that may be another thing. You see yourself, you're a doctor, you have arrived. And then this male nurse comes to you, and I'm like, look at you, this small boy. He may be small in. So that's why it's also important, I guess, to look at people not based on maybe how much that they are making, but on the labor itself, the dignity of labor. Is he employed? destroyed.
Content of his character.
The content of his character.
Correct. But you know, something that happens here that we know for a fact as women is that you shouldn't drive until you're married. You shouldn't have a house of your own until you're married. Your family will advise you if you know you want to find a husband, because the husbands are looking for women who they believe are starting, you know, or small. And in some cases, I've had to advise.
Sorry, I don't understand your point.
Wait,
which woman understand? Hey, this Lagos.
Morayo. It's the Lagos
Men
that you
are looking for people who are established. Young women
I think
are
that's
looking for women.
Maybe it's the urban city narrative. Because you see, women that I have had to advise a friend who has everything put together, who can afford her trips.
Okay.
To say, what you say, take permission from him now, discuss it with him. Make it, if I beg him. So we usually do this. I do it regularly. I'll call my husband. I can afford to recharge my phone. I'll call him and say, okay, I'm out of data, I'm out of credit, and he recharges my phone. He gives your men some sort of vulnerability on the woman's part. It kind of endears men to women. And we know
let me
this
be
is
clear, I
Africa.
understand it. So, because you want to make the man feel empowered, you now have to come down.
You know, that's what we do now. That's how
I'm
Nigerians
trying to make,
don't do it.
I know. Yeah, I'm
That's
trying to
our-
make,
that's
I
our
want our
Nigeria.
viewers to understand it.
No.
That's our Nigeria.
So, that's our Nigerian
because
way.
you see, locally,
Wait,
every man are made up of what their society has made of them.
Right.
So it is different from them abroad. But here, I personally have taken it for granted.
Right.
I see a lot of men in those kind of conversations, and I don't bother again. I just you to do small now. Why are you driving a big car? If you
Look,
try,
I have a girlfriend. She's
pretend
about to buy
married.
She's about to buy. Is it a house or a land or something? I mean, she's going on and off. I mean, she's single, and I mean, everybody's advising her not to. I mean, I thought
Tell her to make the mistake to buy it now.
I told her buy it. I'm like, buy it and keep it. I mean, but when you say make a mistake, I mean, let's be careful.
Make the mistake and buy land. Let's not seem like you just went all out there and you're go getting and you're just buying land, buying house. Now, if you're married and you can afford to buy land, you have to sit in a meeting with somebody.
Of course,
so
the standard.
standard. But abroad, you can still go and buy it now.
You know, Morayo, we have this conversation of women saying, you know, I really want to buy this big car. That I have earned, I've earned it, I can afford it, it would not even cost me anything. But people will call, your parents will call you, this car you're about to buy, you will not get a husband to marry. But it's so sad that even in 2020, we're having that conversation.
Yes,
I remember when I was working in a place and I got an official car. I mean, that was beyond my entire family's car. So my mother would say, this car, Sha, hey. Anybody will approach you with this car. You know, she's always nervous when I go out with this car. She told me to park the car and use her own.
Before you scare the good guys away.
But you see, we need to change that thinking.
Fantastic,
we need to be able to approach somebody regardless of what they have.
Exactly.
Because you're looking at me for who I am, not because of what I have. And I think a lot of men need to bolden up and speak to these people.
Wait first. There are a lot of women who, when they actually, women, you know, when we actually do finally beat all our societal difficult impediments and achieve something, we just sit over it and be like, excuse me, who are you again?
Hey, are we?
You know, yes, so women do these things.
I don't know.
You are talking to a man and the man is already holding a small, you know, Ojaboko 4 kind of phone, and you're looking at him that, did you see my iPhone?
Well, you see, I don't know if my husband will not, because when we're dating, my husband had this car, Triple J, because it's going to kill me. It's going to kill me for sharing this story. Triple J, that car, so today I don't even know, we just abandoned it somewhere. Triple J, when he comes to pick me, after with my own Jeep as official car, but the Triple J, you will see the hole on the floor on 10 Million Bridge. I'll be scared, hey, come on, what kind of
but you
car
entered
is
it.
I entered the car.
That's what she said.
So the car was so horrible. Entering it was the most scary thing. But my mother insisted that don't touch your car, and when he comes, just put your car like this. But my husband didn't care. He would give me the key of your car. I mean, after we enter his own car and we've gone back, he will confidently, boldly take my car with no. What is this? What is it? No, you and your car, everything. You know, we know this together.
And that's what a lot of women are
saying.
saying.
So a lot of men lack that confidence.
Yes.
Lack that confidence, and they need to know that regardless of what the woman has, what she has accomplished, she wants to engage with you based on who you are. And that should come first, and that must exude in what you're saying to her.
Yes.
You know, not that you're interested in what she has.
Yes.
But I will never forget Triple J. Oh, I
love this story.
Oh, man. All right, we have to run
Mafia says, hardworking, responsible ladies are still single because our men cannot deal with an independent woman because over-smart will not let them be submissive in men's minds. Agree with me. Omoyo Mother says, social media can do both. It can make or mar a relationship depending on the side the individual chooses to take. Social media responses is full of positive and negative comments. If you choose positive, it will impact your relationship, but if negative, it will destroy it.
I think we can read up on that. That's all we can take. Any other comments?
Yes, I just wanted to say that when you find yourself in a position where you meet people, women especially, women are always saying that if you're intimidated by the things that I have, you're not the sort of man I want to even be with anyway. So you need to, as you have said, you need to be confident to meet someone and let them get to know you for who you are. Then they'll judge you for who you are. And you're going somewhere. So you're not a bum just waiting for a woman to come and take care of your bills. You're a man on a journey. And you just happen to meet this person who her journey has taken her just maybe a few steps from where you are headed anyway. So be confident to approach women like that.
We have to wrap up.
Because you wanted to continue this topic later, I think this is a good way to start. I said it's also trust and paranoia sometimes. Some men believe women are susceptible to cheating if they work in corporate environments or work late nights.
That's another angle.
So,
okay, we'll end it at that and we'll take it up maybe next week. Have a fabulous weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.